Today is Tuesday, March the 26th, and I'll tell you why I'm frustrated when we get to Apple. But first we'll look at the McClellan oscillator, and like I said yesterday, we probably wouldn't see any change, and we didn't. But now we have a huge update today with advancers leading decliners, 69% to 27%. So really, big day for advancers over decliners. The market did take a dip, and the Dow didn't quite recover back to where its open was, but it still ended up 140 points. And the S&P ended up about 18 points. It opened at this number here, which was quite a pop and left a big gap, as we'll see. So if we look at the S&P 500, if we just look at the 15-minute, we can see this gap here that was created at the open. So I just use this gap drawing tool in Motive Wave. And we're going to take a look at that gap tomorrow. Wait a second, let me do it properly right here. I'm going to take a look at that gap tomorrow and see if it gets filled before possibly moving higher. But we look at the 1 hour on the S&P, and we had support by the Chiku on the cloud, and we've had it quite often. We had it here on the 19th, middle of last week. We had it here on Wednesday of last week, and the cloud has just been providing support for the Chiku span, and we ended up staying within the 1 hour cloud. So tomorrow I would say we're going to look for a pullback to 2800 if there's any weakness, just to fill that gap and then possibly move higher. Here's a very, very weak portion in the cloud here that could present an opportunity for price to go higher in the coming days. The S&P 500 on a daily stays just above the 8 EMA. Let's look at Apple, and Apple was my disappointment today because I was busy doing yard work that I took my eye off the ball. When I went out this morning, I was up thousands of dollars, and Apple was doing quite nicely, and I felt confident. But then news came out about Qualcomm having a successful court decision against Apple, and that caused it to go from up 2.2% to down 0.6%. And we can see Apple on the day having this big range here, which has a range higher than the range of yesterday's. That's an NR1 day. And let's see if we can, let's see what will happen tomorrow. The key thing here is that we've been looking at the 1 hour as our clue on when to buy and when to sell. And if I had been paying attention, I would have looked here and I would have seen the Chiku span getting support on this candle and then losing it. So this is not a good thing. We were lucky that in the last hour we ended up and just inside the cloud. However, there's a strong possibility that the Chiku span comes down and tests the cloud about 185.28. That could be a potential low. So I'm going to put an alert there, and I'm going to say create an alert in Motive Wave using the Chiku span when it crosses the Senku span A. This is a yellow cloud, so the top is the A and the bottom is the B. So when the Chiku span touches the cloud, I'm going to get an alert tomorrow. I'm going to get that multiple times so I don't miss it. So disappointing in Apple today. I'm still happy about the stock, and I'm only down $250 on the shares that I bought yesterday. Still not the way it was when I went out and started doing yard work. Gold. Let's look at gold on a daily basis, and we had an update today. We just finished. We're not able to finish above the prior closing high, which is right here. We have a high here, but this is the closing high, and it was also the high of the day reached at this particular day. So we still have a way to go, but this is a positive sign for gold moving higher in the future. Caterpillar getting support off the bottom of the cloud yesterday, getting support today off the top of the cloud, coming back up to this trend line, getting resistance on the trend line. Let's take a look. I'm still looking for the Gartley completion of 149.52. Intel Corporation started off pretty sharply today, had a nice day, finished off with this right in the middle doji. Still optimistic about that stock. WDC didn't have a good day. Still probably going to get cloud support here and the possibility to move upwards. The target is still 52.71, which would be this previous high here. Let's just look at one more, and that would be Amazon. Had an up day about 0.5% today. It was up much more. It finished off in the day as just a doji, just in the middle, just like, was it Caterpillar that we just said was a doji? Caterpillar was not the doji we were talking about. Intel was fat doji. Anything else we want to look at? The banks. I mean, I look at U.S. banks, and the banks are just doing horrible. That's not a good sign, and that's to do with the confusion in what's happening with the yield curve, and the Treasury is going up and down. Yesterday, they caused some turmoil in the market, and they were expected to be a cause for concern today. I guess they weren't. I haven't taken a look at the headlines and certainly haven't listened to CNBC. So that's my summary. Not much to say other than Apple. I have my eye on it very sharply. And let's go back to Apple here. I'm really finished now, but I'm just going to summarize by saying Apple, I'm looking for support here, where the Chiku span touches span B on the daily chart. I've got an alert set here. So right there would be this hour, so it's going to be a little bit lower tomorrow. Will be our area of support right here at 183.13, and we said on the 1 hour, the Chiku span did have support on the cloud, so that's what we're looking for to continue.